Well, hi. This is Don Derwin again on the same issue as with that the Watts link. I'm finding out that I maybe had some trouble with it, so this is part 3 of my video. But let me say one thing about this PT Cruiser. I don't think Chrysler put this car together with to make it last. I think Chrysler, from the stuff that I've had it for a couple years now, maybe 3 or 4 years, I think maybe 4 years now, but I'm seeing that it looks like Chrysler used a bunch of lousy metal. They just put it together the most cheapest way they possibly could, and that's one of the things I've noticed on it before. Is they just, if you use really lousy, I took metallurgy, and if you use metal that's lousy, it's gonna strip easily. And what happened with me, I'll show you in a minute, and I'm gonna try to work around the issue. I think I can, but this is 4 hours later, I'm putting it back on, but everything went together just fine. The top one, worked just fine, getting it back on, not a problem. I mean, but the thing is when I took the bolt off on the bottom, it's the bolt came off stripped. So the bolt was stripped when I took it off. So I had it's not my fault. I took off a stripped bolt, and then I tried to put on a stripped bolt. And what happens when you put on a stripped bolt after it's been stripped, it's hard to turn on, and other things get stripped. And so now the Allen wrench is stripped. So now the bolt is stripped, and the Allen wrench is stripped. So I'm stuck. It won't come off, and I can't put it back on. So I'm basically screwed. I'm SOL, here. And either that, I gotta buy new parts, but I know it's not my fault that it's stripped out, but maybe I should have thought a little before putting a stripped bolt back on there, but maybe in hindsight, maybe I should not have put a stripped bolt back on there. But because I ended up just stripping the Allen wrench, so now the thing just spins because you can't tighten it or loosen it. The only thing I could do is grind the bolt off. I thought of that, but even if I did grind the bolt off, the threads are all stripped and the Allen wrench is stripped too, so nothing I can do there. But I think I got a workaround about this. But I seen some other guy, he said he had to take the whole, thing off. I was watching the video, but I know this would have been a very easy fix, to do if the bolts were not stripped. But the bolts were stripped before I even got there, So, but what I'm saying is that the Allen wrench is stripped. I can't find it now. I don't know. Here it is. But what I'm trying to say is, this Allen wrench thing got stripped. This, when you're holding the bolt in here, this Allen wrench, the bolt got stripped. With this thing, because you gotta hold this while you turn the wrench. You gotta hold on to the wrench, and then you gotta turn it. And it's all together now. But anyway, there, it's back together again. But what I'm saying is, you know, you got to put the wrench here. The one that's stripped out is this one here, but you got to put the wrench there, and then, you know, this thing on here to hold in there, and you got to turn the wrench while you hold the nut in there. And what happened was it stripped out on the bottom. The bolt is stripped. And what I'm going to try and do is, I got, you know, a couple of washers, and it's either I got to take apart that whole thing here, and it bolts on to there, over to here, and that bolt is so hard to get off. But anyway, so what I thought about doing, which this would probably work, is I got some washers, and so I was thinking what I could do is this little gap that's here. I went and got the perfect fit of washers. I found some washers that'll just fit here perfectly. And so the bolt is stripped on there anyway, so I can't get it off. I can't get it on anymore. So it's stripped. So I gotta trash it. I mean, it's got to be cut off and thrown out and bought new. And that's what I mean about the Chrysler is they put the bolt on that was stripped to begin with, you know, because they're using really cheap metal, you know, and they didn't make the threads properly. And when you don't make the threads properly, and it's, you know, messed up to begin with. So I have nothing. I had no trouble with the top, went right on beautifully, but this bottom part, it was stripped out, and that's what I noticed when I was working on the car before. And now I'm starting, this is the second time I took apart a stripped bolt when there's no reason why it should be stripped, when I never taken it off and nobody else is ever putting it on. And I think that's a factory made part, you know. And so what I'm going to do is it's stripped anyway, so nothing I can do, and so otherwise you got to buy a whole new part, put a whole new part on there. But I thought maybe, you know, I can fix this with a permanent fix here. So I took some washers, you know, I cut them off like that, you know, the middle, and I cut two of them. I made two of them, and I cut two of them. And so what I'm going to try to do is force these on. So if this ever happens to somebody else, maybe take some advice from me. But anyway, don't do what I did, you know. But I think this will work. There's a mosquito trying to bite me. Get out of here. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a hammer and I'm going to force these on here. So I'm going to permanently smash those on there. So that'll be a permanent fix. I mean, that you won't be able to. I mean, it would be very hard to get those out again, and they're very tight in here. They're very tight, you know, so it's a very tight fit. And so what my plan was, after I get those washers around there, I will take the pipe clamp and I will securely tighten this pipe clamp around the two washers and force fit them around, you know, to fill up this little gap here, you know. So I'm hoping that that works, and so I'm gonna make a permanent fix to a permanent problem. So I mean it's the bolt's not gonna come off and it's not gonna go on. So there's only one way to get it off, and that's to cut it off, and that's it. So I figured, you know, that may be the best situation that I can come up with. So that's what I'm gonna try and fix now. But yeah, that's the one thing I noticed with the Chrysler is I think they just used really, even with the rims and everything, it just they didn't make the car to last. They just made it look nice, you know, for a little while. And then here's this the WD-40, you know, that's they say some guys saying that's, you know, really good. Then this is the PB Blaster stuff I was trying to mention before, but the instructor over at the college said he says this stuff is the best stuff to use. But I mean, some people like this better, so I just, you know, got both, you know. So I'll you know, PB and the WD-40. But so anyway, you know, hopefully this is the end of my troubles here. So I'm gonna try and get that back together again, and so I think this will work though. So anyway, so the one guy, he said that he had to take the whole thing off and, you know, work on the bench, and you know, I mean, I believe it, you know. And I tried to get the bolts off with the breaker bar, the ones that were fastened to the body, and I had no more strength left. I couldn't even I couldn't budge it. So I think this is gonna work though. But anyway, so hope somebody learned something from this video, and I kind of wish that I didn't have this problem, but you know, I did, you know. So okay, all right, okay, bye bye.